And here we are again with Patrones. As promised, after reaching the 75 likes in the Patrones dress between this channel Sewverse and the Spanish one Sewverse, we're going to make the Halter top. For what I see here, it looks like an easy pattern, so let's see how it goes. And we need some satin and an elastic band. According to the table of measurements, I am a size 38 bust, but then a 40 waist and hips, which will be a 10 and a 12 in the UK sizing. But of course, this magazine skips sizes, so I wasn't going to be lucky, was I? So I will have to trace between the 36 and the 40. And I will only need the bust size because the rest of the top is loose. There's not much tracing to do, it's only a few pieces, but of course, because the paper, the sheet is so small, one of them is divided in half. They could do the paper a bit bigger, couldn't they? But so let's start tracing. I'm trying to make the most of my tissue paper because I had some pieces I don't want to waste. So that's it. I have my patterns cut. There's not much to do because it's only 2 patterns that they give you. The rest, the necktie and the little ring that goes here, you have to cut it following some measurements that of course are only the measurements of the sizes they give you for the pattern. So I guess in between sizes will be 1 centimeter. And one thing I don't like at all about this magazine is that not the sizing skipping you can manage, but the code of the patterns. Because, for example, on this pattern, the smallest they give you is the 36, but on the dress I made, they had a 34. So I'm supposing that the small size is the 36, and on the dress I guess that the 34 was smaller than the small. So that's what I'm doubting, if I am coding it right, if the 36 is the small, if it depends on the pattern. That gets me a bit confused. I hope I'm doing it right. So now let's cut the fabric. Because the material is so slippery, I'm not going to be using my pattern weights, but pins. And after cutting your pieces, the first thing you have to do is go straight ahead and sew back and front together. But before I do that, what is going to be the side seams, those bits of material, I'm going to overlock because I think it's the ones that, well, this material frays a lot. And apart from that is the 2 seams that are going to be ugly. The rest is going to have a bias tape all around it. The bottom hem will have a double hem, and the neckline will have not the bow, but the tie sewed in. So those are the ones that are going to suffer the most, so I'm going to overlock them. And now that I have my overlocking done, I'm going to sew right sides together front and back along the side seam. So this little thing is my top. This is the neckline and the back. So the problem with these things is that you can't really try them on until it's done, because there's no way you can hold it in place. So you have to trust the process. And now along the armholes back and up the other armhole, I have to sew a bias tape. So the first thing on the bias tape, I'm not going to bother basting or anything like that. I'm just going to sew it and leave it open up to the neckline, I guess, because it doesn't say. And then when I fold and do it nicely, I will baste. And it has to be open, remain open, so I can put the elastic band. It says something to leave 1 centimeter open, but I think if I leave the neckline open, it's easier, isn't it? It hasn't got much shape at all, but this is the tape that right now I'm going to press. And now basting, which is important because it's a slippery material, and we need to get right in the middle of that seam, so we need to make sure it's there. But the thing is that in the pictures I can't see anything, like I can't see any bias tape or anything, but and now once I finish getting rid of all the basting thread, I'm going to put the elastic band in with the help of a safety pin. But I changed my mind. Looking at the picture again, maybe you can't see anything because the elastic band is really thin, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to use a thinner elastic band to see how it looks. And let's not forget that the other end will slip through if we're not careful. So let's put a safety pin, I mean a pin, on the other end. This is how I'm doing. And now is the time for the necktie thing. And I have my rectangle of material, and it says that I have to sew 2 sides, right sides together, so then I can pull it right sides out and sew it to the neckline. It took me a while. I had to read the instructions a few times because I didn't know how to do the tie. And it is just to sew it on one side, and then with the ring that goes here, you just adjust it to your neck. In the beginning I was going to sew it all together so I could pull my hair through, but it wouldn't fit, so thank goodness I realized. And the ring here, I cut it a bit shorter because it was too long. Maybe it's because my material is quite thin, but I don't know, I just did it. And then to finish, I'm going to hem it with a double hem, but really thin, a really thin one. and it's finished. And this is the final result. Quite cute. I like the shoulder bit. What I don't like, but that's something personal of mine, is that it shows this here. I don't like this. But well, we can't compare with the model because she spends the whole photo session with her jacket on, so I'm sure she has the same. As for the rest, I think it's a cute top. You can wear it to the beach or for dinner, it doesn't really matter. It's quite good. The only problem I have is the ring here that is supposed to hold the blouse together, the necktie thing. So it doesn't hold it, it's too big. Maybe it's because my fabric is too thin, but I made a second ring, which is the one that's holding everything, and I have it inside the other one. So from time to time you have to adjust it, but the rest is okay. So there you have it, this is the top. Let me know down in the comments what you think, and don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. I would really appreciate it, it helps the channel a lot, and that way you don't miss anything. And I leave you 2 links here anyways if you want to have a look, and I'll see you next time. Oh, we can leave it on the outside as well. It looks nice and chic.